What's happening, everybody? What is happening? So, I said I was going to come on here once Jasmine made a response to Paloma's comments about Taylor saying that Jasmine was fat. I remember that Jasmine made a comment saying that she was going to respond to it or address it. I don't know if she has responded to it elsewhere or addressed it elsewhere, but I kept checking her Twitter page and her Instagram page to see if she was going to respond to it directly, and I didn't see anything. So I thought that she was just going to kind of leave it alone. But then I listened to her interview on the Winner's Circle. And in her interview on the Winner's Circle, Tiffany asked her about that comment, to which she cleared the air and said that Taylor never actually called her fat and that she kind of just got in her feelings about a comment that was misconstrued. So I'm going to play that comment in a little bit once a few more people jump into the room. But this was just going to be a quick address of that to dispel that rumor that Paloma put out there. And that's pretty much it for that topic. I did say that I was going to review and show you guys whenever I found that she addressed it, and this is the first place that I personally have seen her address it. Some of y'all are way more tapped in or tuned in than me, so maybe she had addressed it elsewhere, but this is where I heard it first. So without further ado,
the next thing we know, was that week one? Was that still week one? I think because Paloma was there. Yes. So the next thing we know, Paloma's telling you, or we're hearing that, and Paloma even addressed this, and I didn't watch it because I won't watch anything she does, but I heard that she did something with Indy where she's like, Jasmine said Taylor called her fat.
Yeah, that is not how that went down. And so this is Renfest. I'm going to tell you because I was there. And I'm so glad because I saw that Indy and Paloma did a live recently, and Paloma was trying to use this as some reasoning of why she was mean to Taylor. But see, she had already started with Taylor before we even got to this point. But it was Renfest, and Taylor was nice enough to help me with my corset. It was like, them old-timey dresses or whatever. And so I had a white dress that had a corset. And I'm like, why did they give me this dress with all these strings? How am I going to tie this up? So Taylor was in the room, and she literally did my corset. She's like, oh, girl, I'm so glad I did not have this problem. But she wasn't meaning it in that way. She was meaning it as in her dress was different from mine, and she did not have to put a corset on, right? Okay. So I got in my feelings because I was like, okay, here is a girl that's like, help. I have to ask her for my help. She doesn't have to worry about this. And I've always been kind of defensive, and I have trauma behind my way. Like, even growing up, like, people in my family, like, oh my God, you're always going to be fat, or oh, you're bigger than your sisters, or you're thicker than this. And so that was my own thing that I had, but she never called me fat. Let's be very clear. The issue with the fat comment is when, of course, this, Tiffany, before comps, they don't have cameras on. So you're getting ready and doing all this stuff, right? So I go to Paloma, I'm hurt. I'm like, dang, like, why would she say da-da-da-da? I'm in my feelings. And Paloma goes, well, Jasmine, she always makes shady comments about your weight. And then that's when shit got real for me. Because I was like, well, damn. Like, what? Like, when did she say this? Like, when is, but Paloma, she's all over the place, and we're getting ready for, Renfest. We're getting it. And I even blew it off. I was like, okay, I got to bring myself together. I even go in the DR because I had to, like, cry it out for a bit because I was so hurt behind it. Because I'm like, damn, like, it's always going to be this narrative of me because I'm not the skinny girl or, the one that is, like, a model or anything like that. But I feel like I'm still a good person. So Taylor never called me fat. I don't know why Paloma feels the need to even bring that up because that shouldn't be any reasoning behind what she did. If Paloma wants to talk about what she did, she needs to talk about that. She needs to own up to that. But Jasmine being in her mouth about something and using that as a scapegoat to not own up to her crap, that's a different story. And I won't allow it, honestly.
So that was that. That's her response to Paloma saying that she called Jasmine fat or whatever. So she was just saying that Taylor made a comment that she mistook. And at that time, she was friends with Paloma in the house and she trusted Paloma for whatever reason. So she went to Paloma and mentioned the comment. And then Paloma took that and ran with that and decided to throw that in that interview with Indy as a way to justify the treatment that Taylor was receiving. So the source actually said now, the source, which is Jasmine, that Taylor never called her fat. So we can put an end to that. I mean, none of us heard it anyways, but anyways. And then at the beginning of this interview, this is not really going to be a full interview recap, but just to give you guys a little bit of information, is that Tiffany was asking her about the Girls Alliance and why she was just not rocking with Taylor from the beginning. And she basically said the same thing that everyone else said, which is that at that particular point in time, she was cool with Paloma. She trusted Paloma. Paloma gave her some false information, particularly that whole situation surrounding Monty taking Taylor's comments and running to Paloma with it and then going around the house, downing Taylor, trying to get her out. So Jasmine said she didn't instantly believe Paloma. She was more prone to believe Paloma because she had more of a relationship with her. But just like a lot of other people said, she double checked with Monty and Monty was like, yes, indeed. What Paloma is saying is true. He kind of co-signed her. And based on that co-sign, unfortunately, nobody felt the need to actually go to Taylor, talk to Taylor, confirm anything directly with the source, which Tiffany pointed out in that interview. And everything just kind of snowballed from there. But this was just a quick update for y'all about that false claim. We all knew it was false. Nobody really believed it anyways. But I did say that I would cover whenever I heard a Jasmine response. I heard the response. I played it. My reaction to it is simple. People asked me on my channel, why is it that you're going in on Paloma and you're not going in on Jasmine? Why are you making these comments about this person and not that person? I'm not like the average Big Brother fan. And what I mean by that is a lot of, not all of you, because definitely many people on my page are not like this, but several people in general, Twitter, the Big Brother universe, whatever you want to call it, they are oftentimes people that don't allow for someone to make a mistake. You can't say anything wrong. You can't do anything wrong. Matter of fact, you can't come into the show and not be perfect. You can't have room to learn and grow for some people. It's just like, as soon as I hear something I don't like, cancel you. I don't want to support you. I don't want to hear your name, blah, blah, blah. There are some people that I think it's warranted to do that. Thank you, Trisha. There are some people who I think it is warranted to do that, but I think that in general, most Big Brother house guests, with a few exceptions, obviously, but most Big Brother house guests should be given the chance to leave the show, review the footage, do some introspective thinking, talk to their people, talk to a therapist, whatever they need to do, reflect, definitely reflect on whatever happened within the house, and have a chance to be like, hey, I was obviously wrong here. I apologize. And I feel like based on what I've seen of Jasmine, she has done so. That's the reason why I'm sitting here like, if Taylor's not holding it against her, if she privately and publicly actually apologized to Taylor, Taylor forgave her. What am I holding against her at that point? Because I was not even one of the two parties that were hurt by her actions. So that's my feeling on it. And that's my feeling on the house guests in general. Agreed, 100%. Reflect and be better if necessary. Shouldn't we all want that? Trisha, like, shouldn't we all want the people to be better? I mean, we don't all want that. Some people just want to be able to continue to badger these people and bash these people. They're human beings at the end of the day. I maintain all the time that if any one of us, including myself, had 3 months, cameras, and microphones on us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, we would all have things that people would want to cancel us for. That's just the honest truth of the matter. Things that we say, things that we do, things that we think. So, yeah, that's why I'm prone to extend grace. I mean, not everyone feels the same way, but that's the way how I feel. That's the way how I live. There's been things in my life where if people had not forgiven me, who knows what kind of changes I might not have made certain changes that I made because people were willing to forgive me for certain things and give me another chance to make them right. So that's pretty much my comments on this whole Jasmine situation. There's not much more to it. And I'll be back with more coverage of different things as they arise. Thank y'all for your support.